You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. No, it's been a while, y'all, but I'm working on a lot of different projects and I am on a timeline, so I had to cut back on doing some content. You know, don't get me wrong, I enjoy what I do, but at the end of the day, it does not pay my bills. So, you know, I had to focus more on the things that that's going to actually bring me in some income. So not that I'm complaining, but y'all, it's just things that have to be done, but nevertheless I am here. So I wanted to get into talking about this this reunion, this ratchet reunion with Martell and of course Angry Byrd Air Mattress Ariane. So as y'all know, I'm sure y'all been peeping from the clouds. There's been different content creators talking about it. Big ups to all of my sisters in blogging. Shout out to all of y'all who've been keeping us informed, keeping us in the loop with everything that's been going on. So the latest is Ariane Angry Byrd actually went to a Knicks game with Martell, and of course she had to bring that camera. She had to let us know, she had to let it be known she's with her man, she's with the love of her life, Martell the mooch. So any little moment she has with him, she has to make a big old fiasco out of it. She loves letting us know every move she makes with him because she's really trying to convince us, which we're not convinced, but she's definitely trying to convince herself more than others that she is really, really winning. Because y'all got to realize, Angry Byrd has been waiting on this moment. We're talking about every bit of 10 years or more, She's been waiting to have this moment for her to finally have Martell to herself. This is all she's ever dreamed and hoped for. She's been waiting on this moment all her life. So she is so fascinated and over infatuated with the fact that she finally has Martell to herself. But the bad part about it is she's going to find out, like a lot of us with common sense already know, that you have the man, but you'll never have that wedding band. You're not going to have that dream that you're really looking for. Basically, Martell is just there. And as time goes on, she's going to become more and more discontent because she's going to find out, you got Martell, but that's just it. You only have him. You have him, but you're not growing with him. He's not taking it to the next level. You're not getting that wedding ring. You're not getting that, that official marriage. That's what you really, really want. She wants the marriage more than the man, because you have to realize Ariane wants what male has, okay? She has accomplished the child thing. She had little, helmet. She's accomplished that. That is not enough. Angry Bird Arion wants Martell to put the ring on it. And like anything else, like my grandmother used to tell me, why would a man buy the milk when he has the cow? And this is the thing, like, she's not understanding. A lot of chicks don't, a lot of side chicks, a lot of appetizer side dishes, hors d'oeuvres, they don't understand that. Once you have given him the privilege of having so much of you, and they never had to really put in work, they never had to take it to the next level, it's not going to motivate them to take it to the next level, because you've always granted them that privilege of booty and blowjobs. So what is the purpose? That's like giving somebody a paycheck and they didn't have to work for it. That's like giving somebody a car and they didn't have to make any payments on it. They didn't have to pay for the insurance, pay for the maintenance. You just gave them the car. Like anything else, when you give a person something and they didn't have to earn it, they didn't have to put in no work, they don't value. The value depreciates. They don't take care and take pride in really appreciating something that was given to them, versus them having to work, having to earn it, having to fight for it. And that's just it. The thing with Angry Bird that she's not understanding, she does not have Martell where she wants him, but Martell has her where he wants her. Martell knows without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what he does, no matter who he's with, he knows that if it ever gets down to the wire, Arion is going to always have his back. Not always have his back. She's going to always let him hit it from the back, get it from the back. He knows that. He knows that. It's like a stray dog that's wandering the neighborhood. You see this stray dog wandering the neighborhood. You can tell he has no owner. He doesn't belong to anyone anymore. He doesn't have no collar. He's not clean. You could tell he's no longer taken care of. He does not belong to anyone. He's just a stray dog walking around, roaming the neighborhood, looking for a place to belong. And you decide, because you so badly want a pet to have around, you decide to get this stray dog off the street, and you start earning the trust of the stray dog by leaving a doggy bowl full of dog food. You get in a routine of leaving the dog bowl out with food, because that's the only way you're going to be able to lure this stray dog. Most dogs, most pets can be lured by snacks and by food. As long as you have something, you can pretty much earn the trust of a stray dog, a pet. So you leave out this dog of food, you leave out this bowl of dog food, and you leave your fence open. That dog is going to know that as long as that fence is open, that he's going to always have access to that dog food. Now, if you decide to switch the game up on the stray dog, and all you have to do is lock that fence, keep that fence locked, and that stray dog will eventually, it will register to him that the food is no longer accessible, is no longer available. So at some point, that stray dog is going to stop coming around, because they're going to know the fence is locked. They no longer have access. But if you leave that fence open and you do it for months at a time, eventually you have earned the trust of that dog. Why? Because you have fed him. You have continued to feed him. He's gained that trust with you because you have given him access by you constantly feeding him and taking care of him, even though you don't know the history of this stray dog, or you haven't had this dog under your care enough to know if this dog is well groomed, well trained, able to really follow your commands or demands. You don't know if the stray dog is really obedient. All you know is whenever you feed him, he's going to eat it. So what ends up happening is now that you have made that stray dog comfortable to coming in your fence, coming in the yard, eating the food that you have been buying, now, you can finally lock that fence in. You can lock that fence, and that stray dog is not going to go anywhere because that stray dog knows he is in a situation in which he's being fed. He's being taken care of. Martell to me is that stray dog. And it's kind of like, anybody who has ever been a dog owner, and if you're not a dog owner, we've all heard situations in which people can just, some people get in a situation where they can no longer take care of that pet. The pet is becoming more of a burden than a benefit. At first the pet was fun to have around because the pet was playful, was like good company. Maybe the kids got attached to the pet, and basically you bonded with the pet, and people who ever had pets or been a pet owner or whatever can understand this. So you bond with that pet. But as time goes on, you realize the responsibilities of taking care of a pet. Because the pet really can't do nothing for you but bring you entertainment, bring you excitement. And after a while, depending on how life changes, the situation changes, it's just no longer beneficial. Especially when the children get older. The kids don't have enough time to walk the dog, feed the dog, and be attentive to the dog. You're working a lot now. You're getting older. You up in your age. You don't have time to always walk the dog and take care of the dog or whatever. So you have to make a decision at some point. You have to make a decision. Is this pet worth holding on to? Or should I just go ahead and give this pet up? Give it up for adoption. Call the pet pound and let them know, they may have to get this pet because I'm no longer in a position. Or you can just open the gate and let the pet go free, and hope, that the pet will eventually somehow wander off and get lost where you no longer have that responsibility. So basically, Martell is that pet that Melody finally realized, what? It was fun while it lasted, but this no longer serves any purpose in my life. The pet is benefiting more than I am benefiting actually holding on to the pet. So she made the decision to let him go because Martell was becoming too expensive. He was becoming expensive mentally, spiritually, and definitely financially because he was taking money and putting it towards his groupie, which is Angry Byrd 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. It just become too much of a problem. Not only that, a lot of times when these men are out here stepping out on their wives, they become disrespectful. They become more arrogant, and they get this sense of entitlement, like they just know they got it like that. My wife ain't going nowhere, my mistress ain't going nowhere, and they just get in that mode of thinking that the way things are, it is going to stay that way. But Martell found that out the hard way because before he knew it, he looked up and it was done. It was over. Now, we've been hearing Martell and Angry Byrd doing a lot of childish, petty things, anything to get that clout. Because, Martell and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, they nothing but clout roaches. They clout roaches. They like to crawl over any little moment to try to get some clout. And it seems as if the more Mel distances herself, and even more so, the more Mel progresses, and she's, she had her her last name Hope dropped. It seems like once Melody starts really progressing, Martell and Angry Byrd, they have to up the ante. And at this point, you have to realize Martell pretty much knows it's a done deal. Whatever little hope he was holding on to, whatever little sense of of reconciliation that he really was banking on, He knows at this point it's done. There's nothing he could do. He ran out of manipulative tactics. When Mel shut the door, she completely shut it. And this ruined all of his chances of being able to get back in there. She stopped going to bed with him. She did not accept any gifts from him. She did not take any apologies. And that is how you win your respect, when you get to that point, and when you make a man realize your dick, your manipulation, your Hallmark cards, none of what you selling, I'm not going to buy it at this point in time. Martell just finally accepted the fact that Mel is not coming back. And honestly, don't think for a second that Martell is proud of that. Don't think that, of course, his fake masculinity and his feminine energy is going to produce and show us the opposite of what he's feeling inside. But Martell is not happy that the gig is up. So he did what he does best. He goes back to Arion. Arion is a revolving door, and it's gotten to the point to where he has basically institutionalized himself. And let me break that down in a more simpler way. Y'all got to realize I'm a criminal justice major. So a lot of the theories and analogies that I use, I always apply it to something within the criminal justice system. It just helps to explain things and break it down in more of a simple form. For instance, when they say inmate is institutionalized, it means that the inmate cannot function outside of the prison, outside of the correctional facility. So what tends to happen, an inmate who has been incarcerated so long, who has been in the correctional institutions for so long, meaning incarcerated for maybe 10 plus years, the majority of his life, once he is released and granted parole or probation, or he served all of his time and is no longer on paper, now he has to go out there and adjust to the real world, adjust to society. Adjusting to society meaning now you have to go out there and work. You got to provide. You got to get a job. You have to take care of yourself. You got to build your credit up. And you got to realize in the prison system, none of that exists. Prison makes you very stag-minded, especially due to the fact that you have so much restrictions from the outside world. And everything you learn, you got to learn within. The closest you'll get to the outside world is technology. But we all know, even with technology in prison, that is still limiting you from being able to really adjust and understand the way society is consistently growing and expanding and revolving while you are locked up and incarcerated within the system. So a lot of these guys who done did, offenders who done did 25 to 30 years and went in young, coming out as full-grown men, they have a hard time adjusting to society, because in prison the requirements was so much different. The needs of survival was so much different compared to the outside world. So what ends up happening is 9 times out of 10, because he cannot adjust to society, he cannot adjust to being normal, working amongst law-abiding citizens, 9 times out of 10, he's going to fall right back within the very same criminal patterns that caused him to get locked up to begin with. He might go back out there stealing, hustling, anything that he feels is his only means of survival, because in prison, all they learn how to do is hustle, scheme, plot, and lie, get over on other inmates in order to survive. And he thinks he could take that same prison mentality out there into the real world. What does that have to do with Martell and Mel and Angry Byrd? I know that's what y'all wondering. What it does have to do with is the fact that Martell is institutionalized as a bum-ass ninja. Okay? He's a band. Both of these women, within their own right, have created a band. And we don't have to say the full word. You know, I'm trying to serve the Lord. I'm not there yet. But y'all get exactly what I mean. He has made himself confined to being a band, meaning that he has made himself become adjusted and confined to getting over and manipulating two women for his own personal gain. This was not just a habit for Martell. This became a lifestyle. Being able to use two women, which I don't consider Angry Byrd a woman, but in this case, to keep things simple, I just have to group everything all at once. He basically got accustomed to the lifestyle of using both women. He used Mel as the provider, as the you know, I don't know what is going on here. This man has basically become very codependent on both women. He's cursed himself more than he could ever realize, because you have to realize this man made this a lifestyle. This was not a habit. This was not a one time, okay, I'm gonna go out here, do my thing and have my little fun and go back home to my wife and not even get involved no more. You know, I'm not going to make this an ongoing thing. And again, I don't condone any man disrespecting his marriage, but just for y'all to really understand what I'm insinuating is that this man made this a lifestyle, and he cursed himself because he got himself accustomed to dealing with two women, meaning he cannot function with one without having the other. Because you have to realize, Martell is slow and dull as a box of rocks. So he never had planned for the day when life was going to change and things was going to become different. He never had a backup plan. He never thought to himself, okay, if my wife was to find out and divorce me, how am I going to be able to function? How am I going to be able to provide? Am I going to be the kind of man that's going to want to get a real job because I done got used to my wife doing everything? Am I capable of starting my own business because that's something my wife has always done? He didn't think that far ahead because Martell is not smart. He lacks wisdom and he lacks knowledge. He didn't think, if I get caught up, will Angry Byrd be able to pick up where my wife left off? Is she business minded? Other than being great at blowjobs and booty, and tossing my salad, is she worth me losing everything? Could I depend on her wholeheartedly if I was to lose my wife? Martell was only concerned about what he was getting at the moment. He did not prepare for, in the event, his whorish ways would catch up with him and cause him to crash and burn, and that's exactly what happened. So this is what's going on. First of all, Martell and Angry Byrd also became very codependent on Mel's money. Mel played a significant part in how Martell and Angry Byrd was able to build to build a false fantasy off of Mel's finances. Because the truth of the matter is, Mel sponsored a lot of the lifestyle that Martell was giving to Angry Byrd. Air mattress. Mel's money financed the fake false livelihood that Angry Byrd was convinced and believing that Martell was the main breadwinner providing all of this. That's why Angry Byrd was smelling herself and making all of these rude comments, because she thought Mel was codependent like her. She thought Mel needed Martell's money like she needed Martell's money, not realizing that Mel was the money and is the money. She knows that now. She knows that now. That's why they no longer dine at those 5-star restaurants. Ain't no more Ruth Chris. Okay? We don't went from Ruth Chris to the Chinese $5.99 buffet. Okay? But Mel played a big part in Martell really being able to sponsor Angry Bird. And not only that, Mel played a big part in Martell's happiness with Angry Bird. Martell was not simply happy based off of the blowjobs and booty benefits that he was receiving. You have to realize Martell was able to splurge and show this woman a good time, this Angry Bird, this air mattress, a good time off of his wife's dime. He did not have to work hard. He did not lose anything. If in the long run he did, we see that. But I'm saying at the time, during him committing adultery, he was taking money from his wife's income. This wasn't money he worked for, which made it even more of a sweeter deal for him. You know, because he's spending money on an airhead that he's not working for. Okay? So, he really didn't get to feel the sting of it like Mel did, because Mel was making the money. He was not. You know, that's like you giving money to a child and you done taught that child what to do with the money. You done said, okay, get your school clothes, and that child buys a lot of junk and toys. Got no school clothes, and the reason why that child didn't see the value in getting what they needed versus what they wanted, because that money was given to them. It wasn't money they had to cut grass for, wash the car for. You just simply gave them that money. And that's the same thing with Martell. Martell was given the money. He didn't really, worked hard. He didn't do his part as a husband. He probably did the gift the gab. He has a mouthpiece or whatever. But for the most part, Mel was the one that was making things happen. So, because he made himself institutionalized, confined, incarcerated to the lifestyle of juggling both women, meaning I can pump and dump over here, but still come home to a hot cooked meal, come home to being around my children. In Martell's mind, he was living the big life. He really felt like he was the Don Perignon, because he was getting everything he wanted from both ends and not getting any consequences, not getting any repercussions for his actions. But it all came to a head when Mel pulled the rug from up under his foot and said, I'm out, I'm divorcing you. This would forever alter Martell's life more than he would have ever known. So he knew there was going to be some changes ahead, but not like the changes he actually ended up having to endure. Because he thought that Melody was playing, Melody was bluffing. Because you have to realize, when you've been married for a long time, married couples make up, break up all the time. If it's continuous where y'all breaking up every month, now we got a problem. But every marriage has had its share of ups and downs. You break up, make up, whatever. But this time, the breakup was permanent. And this is why Martell started rebelling. Martell started acting out, coming at Mel every chance he could get, running her raggedy back and forth to the courts. Just anything to taunt this woman because she pulled the rug on him. You got to remember, this was a lifestyle. A lifestyle. That's like you done been married to a rich man for all of these years and he decides to divorce you. Now you have to go from a penthouse to staying at a motel in the hood. It's a culture shocking adjustment because for one, you never saw the day your whole life would change different. That you will go from, having this luxurious lifestyle and you have completely downgraded from, from a luxurious lifestyle, basically to the slums. So Martell basically ended up having to lose one in the process. But if Martell had it his way, he would have rather had lost Arion. Because Arion wasn't the prize. Melody was. But the way life works, usually when you get caught up, you usually don't get to keep the prize. You end up with the peasant. And that is exactly what happened. Sometimes God has mercy and grace. He'll give you a second chance. And you have some women who have stayed and things got better or whatever the case is. And then you have some women like Mel who left and the man ended up on a losing end. And that's exactly what's going on. So Martell has basically gone back to Angry Byrd. And it's not because he wants to be there. He absolutely does not have a choice because he's not man enough to stand on his own. Rarely do you have men who, if you think about it, you rarely ever hear married men go live with their mistress. If you really think about it, even married men who have had wives to divorce them, they either what? Start all the way over, get a new house, get a new bachelor pad, start their life fresh, start a business, start a job. They keep it moving. Very rarely are you going to catch a married man moving in with his side chick or his mistress. It does not happen. Or if he does move on, it's with a totally different woman. Very rarely, we know it happens because obviously Martell did it. Very rarely do married men, go back to the very thing that was the cause of the demise of his marriage. Because for one, he's going to always fault the woman for the loss of his marriage because most of the time, men in that position, they're not going to take accountability anyway. So the last thing they're going to do is move in with the mistress or start a new life with the mistress, knowing that was part of his downfall. Even though he brought the mistress in his life, most of them, again, don't take accountability. So most married men are not going to start a whole new life with his side chick. That does not happen. Even if there's a child involved. I've seen men have children outside their marriages and they still don't lose their marriage to go be with the woman they had the child from. In other words, ain't too many married men going back to the very thing that caused the demise of his marriage. But in Martell's case, since he's not a man, he will go move in with Angry Byrd just so he can avoid being the very thing he wasn't with his wife, which is a man. Martell is not man enough to get a real job, make money, be productive, so he does not have to lean on his side chick. It's a sad day in hell when a man has to depend on his side chick. I really think about what I'm saying to y'all. Ain't too many men not too many men gonna go back with they side chicks to depend on that side chick. Now, will they go back and smash? Yes. Will they go back and for their own sexual pleasure benefits? Yes. But they're not going to move in with them. But this just goes to show y'all how less of a man, how much Martell lacks masculinity. After your wife left you, you had to move in with your side chick that you yourself, sir, said was a peasant. Which means that there's really nothing she can really offer you or contribute to you that's going to get you to where you need to be. Because we know blowjobs and booty could only get you but so far. Booty and blowjobs do not help you build a business. Booty and blowjobs do not help you to build an empire. There's nothing fulfilling other than you climaxing at that moment. Nothing else fulfilling comes from booty and blowjobs. And Martell is seeing that more now than ever. And let me tell you the beautiful part about this situation. Martell and Ariane now, they both are going to see things for what it really is, because you have to realize Mel was there. Her finances made them overlook a lot of the fuckery and false I know the word I'm saying, the false chemistry that Martell and Angry Byrd really believed they had. Now that the money is not there, they got the deal, and Melody's not there. Martell no longer, if he gets upset with Angry Byrd, he can no longer just walk away and leave and go home to be with Mel and his children. They get away from the drama. They get away. They have to deal with each other now wholeheartedly. They have to consume way more of each other, more than what they're used to doing. Listen, smashing somebody and living with them is two totally different things. It's one thing when you and a guy, y'all are dating, y'all are going out to restaurants, going out of town, having trips, having good times. You know, you have your booty and your blowjob sessions, and that's that. That's one thing. But when you actually have to live, a lot of these side chicks really think these married men are top-notch quality, top-tier quality, until they actually, if they ever was to live with these men, they find out these men are a piece of work. Dating a married man versus living with a married man is two totally different things. If she's not seen it already, I don't care how much Angry Byrd smiles for the camera, because this we know. Angry Byrd, Air Mattress, Ariane has become robotic when it comes to the camera. Soon as them camera lens come on her filtered face, we know she's going to automatically put on that smile. We know she's going to automatically flirt and make love to the camera like she's doing porn, like she's in the moment. That's just robotic. Angry Byrd has become professional at being fake and phony, especially when Martell is around, because she really wants to ruffle Mel's feathers. And what she's trying to do is gaslight. She wants to ruffle Mel's feathers because to this day, she has Martell, and Mel is still roughing her feathers. She's still pressed. She's still bothered by Melody. Melody don't even listen. Melody gave you the dick, girl. It belongs to you. It's yours now. She let you take over the payments of that depreciated penis. She gave them to you, boo. And this just goes to show that even Ariane, as dumb and slow as she is, even she knows that she doesn't have Martell the way she wants him. Yes, he lives there. Yes, she's giving them blowjobs and booty. Yes, they going to Popeyes here and there to the flea market to get some knockoff Coach bags or whatever. But even Angry Byrd and her slow remedial mind, she knows that she does not really have Martell claws in him like she wants. She knows that no matter how much her and Martell is around each other, or they may be living up under the same house, sleeping in the same bed, Martell is going to always put up that wall, especially when it comes to the ring. The only ring, and she's been saying that several times, y'all. She done said it to Straight No Chaser. She done said it in another interview. She's banking on that ring. She's mentioned this ring thing several occasions because in her mind she feel like, okay, Mel is gone now. I know you couldn't marry me before because you were married, but Melody divorced you. What's the holdup? Y'all notice since Mel divorced him and Mel is gone, especially now that Martell is living with her in her Section 8 apartment, She's really banking on that ring. And girl, I'm going to be the first here to tell you, the only ring you're going to get is the ring Martell leaves in the tub when he's done busting inside of your cum biscuit behind. That's the only ring you're going to get, is the ring he leaves in the tub, okay? Because he already knows he has you. Why does he feel the need to have an extra incentive on putting a ring on your finger? He's not going to do that. And your mind, you think now that Mel is out the way, so you believe, now this is your moment. He should be extending that privilege to you of being his wife. But 9 times out of 10, wherever a man meets you, that is how he leaves you. If you were always giving him the booty and blowjob benefits, that's all he's going to be seeking. You left nothing to the imagination for him to look forward to, Angry Bird. You've slobbed on his knob like corn in the cob multiple times, so he's not even interested in what you can offer in the bedroom because you've already given him that. In other words, you listen, a lot of these side women, when you give so much of yourself to somebody else's man, somebody else's husband, even if he leaves that woman, there's no interest in it. Listen, if you give a kid dessert before dinner, that child is not going to eat that dinner. You giving that child the sweetest, the most enjoyable part. There's nothing, that child is not interested in the meal, even though the meal would be healthier. Once you have given yourself to a man multiple times without a commitment, he does not feel the need to take it to the next level. What part do we not understand? And to this day, you still giving him booty and blowjobs. If that was what you was aiming for, to get him to marry you, even though we know he never still would have did it. When Mel left him, that should have been your time for you to leave him. When Mel left him out there suffering like the stray dog he is, if you had just an ounce of pride, you would have left his trifling penny loafers wearing no pennies ass. You would have left him right out there to suffer. And by then, he probably would have had to make a choice. Oh no, you're not coming back in my life unless you put that ring on it. You wasn't even smart enough to capitalize off of Martell's downfall. You wasn't smart enough. You know why? Because you so thirsty. And that's the thing. As a woman, when you let a man know you're so thirsty that you're willing to take him back no matter what, he would never really see the good in you. He would never see the value in you. What he will see you is as a fool. Because he know no matter what he does, you're going to welcome him back with open hands because you're so afraid. Your self-esteem is so low. You so scared that if you don't always leave your door open for your stray dog, he's going to leave off and wander off into somebody else's yard. You're so afraid of that. And you're not smart enough to see everything he has tried outside of you. It has not worked. He tried to get with all of these women, Sheree and all these other women and Belinda, Brenda, whatever her name was. I don't know. You seen it's been an epic fail. And instead of you capitalizing off of that, you open the door and you let the stray dog wander right back in the fence with a nice big old bowl of dog food ready to serve him. Go figure. And this is where we are. And what she's not understanding is, Angry Bird is not understanding, Martell is never going to give him completely, because Martell only dealt with her off the notion that he had her and he had Mel. What Angry Bird don't realize is she was a package deal. It was never just her and Martell. It was her, Martell, and Mel's money. And I said this in the video before, what made Martell happy was the fact that during his duration with Angry Byrd, he still had Mel. He had a wife. He had another life to return home to. Martell is not happy because part of his lifestyle is ruined. Everything he did for Angry Byrd was because of Mel. And now that Mel is not there to compensate, all he has is Arion, Angry Byrd, which really dampens and takes the whole fun out of even wanting to be with Arion for him. It's not. It's purposeless for Martell at this point. Arion will never see it this way because Angry Byrd Air Mattress is so happy with the fact she got him. She don't care that Martell is really just hanging on because there's nothing left for him to hold on to. And we all know if Mel wanted to prove a point, the uppercut, kapow. If she wanted to really kapow Arion, all Melody will have to do is say, you know, Martell, you could come back home. Come back home, be with me and the kids. That ninja would run like fire was in the crack of his backside. If Mel ever were to tell him that. If Mel really wanted to prove a point, and would ever go there. But see, Mel is very, very grown woman. Mel knows that proving a point is not more important than protecting her peace. Melody is more concerned with protecting her peace as she should be. Listen, all women is not with that Krishan and Jaden and Baby Blue. All women ain't willing to compromise their peace of mind to prove a point. To show, oh, I can still get that dick when I want. I could still, you know, smashing what I want. Every woman is not, every woman's self-esteem is not that low to where she's willing to compromise her integrity just to earn brownie points and say, oh, I can get his dick anytime I want, or, you know, I can get him to be with me anytime I want. When you know the truth of the matter is, he's not with you because he wants to be. He's with you because you're convenient. And what a lot of women say, a lot of women don't understand, good coochie and convenient coochie is not the same thing. Just because you're convenient, it does not mean your coochie is good. It means it's convenient. If it was that great, why didn't he marry you? And we still don't know what else she covering up. I know, for one, his name is not even on the lease because you living off of Section 8, that's governmental housing. Martell is going to do just enough to stay in the good graces of Angry Byrd. And because she has the brain of a bird, it does not take much to please her. It does not take much to convince her. As long as Martell is around, that's convincing enough for Angry Byrd within itself. He ain't even got to prove himself. She's talking all this trash that she won a ring. She trying to drop these hints because she wants Martell to take her serious. But Martell is going to keep strangling her along. He's going to keep feeding her the same lies. And like she really not going to go for it. She's talking like she's one of them women. She going to put her foot down and, you know, we got to take it to the next level or else. There is no or else. Martell has Angry Byrd's mind. He has such a spiritual stronghold on her that she is willing to not set any stipulations. She could save all that talk for people who buying it. Angry Byrd is just saying that because she knows that's the right thing to say. She knows that she needs to be expecting more. Arion knows that she needs to be demanding more, but her words never matches up with her actions because all Martell has to do is give her some dick and she good, take out to eat and she good. He knows that. So that and actually for Martell, it's working for him right now. And the reason it's working for him right now because for one, he did lose his wife. he lost his marriage, and for two, he has nowhere to go. So it's a good deal for Martell due to the fact that he knows that he can get away with staying and living with Angry Byrd and get away with doing the bare minimum. He knows she's not going to up the ante. He knows that all he has to do is do that pillow talk, penis and pillow talk. He knows all he has to do is do that pillow talk and produce that penis, and he's fine. Yeah, baby, you know, I really appreciate you being there for me. You know, the world was coming down on me really bad, and, you know, people really showed me their true colors, and I realized, you know, that you the only woman who really got my back. You the only woman who ever really supported me. You know I disappointed you and I done let you down many a times, but I commend you for putting up with me. I commend you for still being a good woman, standing by my side, being ride or die for me, still being my friend. Thank you for being a good mother to our son. I thank you for being here for me, supporting me, even when my own wife walked out on me. I thank you for being such a good woman, for having my back, for taking me in when nobody else was there. I'm going to make sure when I get on my feet, I'm going to give you everything you need, baby. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to give you on my son, our son, the world. I'm going to make sure you don't want for nothing. You know you did that pillow penis talk. You know that. That's why she all giddy and popping her lips in the camera. He done put that penis pillow talk on her. That's what happened. And every time she goes through those antics and she blows up and get mad, Martell, you keep lying to me. You keep saying that you gonna be with me. We're gonna get married and we're gonna get to be together. And every time I turn around, you never come through. You never do what you said you were going to do. She'll scream. She'll put on this soap opera love and hip hop, you know, dramatic moment. And all I got to do is say, baby, come on now. Why you acting like that? Why I got to be all that right there? Why I got to be all that there? You know I love you. You the mother of my child. Because he knows she loves when she calls him the mother of his son. So I'm sure he says that. You know you the mother of my son. You know I love you. And she goes right back to, okay. Get mad. No, he pissing in her mouth, calling it sweet milk. Okay. All she got to do is moan and groan and take out the Popeyes. She busts a few nuts, so 1 or 2, round 1, round 2, and he's back in there. He's been playing this game with her forever. And he's going to continue to keep playing it. The bad part is when he gets on his feet. When he no longer needs her. When he no longer needs her. And he gets tired of having to appease to her, because that is going to get old. He's going to get tired of playing this game. But Martell is very strategic. He's going to play the game as long as he can until he gets to where he wants to be. If he got to give her the 3 Ds, dick, dollars, and dining, throw her a few pennies, take out to eat to a diner, take out wine and diner, he good. The 3 Ds, dick, dinner, and $1. And he's always calculating. He's even though and he's also suffering in the midst of it because he did lose his marriage. And I'm sure at times he gets very annoyed having to keep explaining himself to Angry Byrd, keep making her feel validated, have to help her have to be a hands-on dad with Lil Helmet, a child who obviously has some serious issues that probably need to be on medication. I'm sure Martell day by day is getting drained with playing this role. But this is what he signed up for. He ended up with the very thing he really did not want. See, the plan was Angry Byrd was just supposed to be pleasure, not a plan. She was not the plan. She was just pleasure. But he's stuck in the pleasure right now has to be his plan. There's absolutely nowhere for him to go. Martell's world has spiraled downhill ever since Mel left him. And he has to put on this united front because Martell has control over Angry Byrd to a big degree, but at the same time, Martell doesn't. Angry Byrd has her moments when she's lashing out, going crazy on him. So he has to walk a really fine line. He didn't have to walk that fine line while he was with Mel, but now that he's codependent and he's very dependent on his side chick, he has to be very careful with what he says to her, how he says it to her. He has to be careful how he handles Angry Byrd because he is at her will right now. He is at her mercy. He has to walk a fine line. This is the reason why he's going along with her recording them everywhere they go. If you think about it all before, Martell wasn't as compliant with Angry Byrd always filming them, recording them everywhere they go. But he's at her mercy right now. So he has to put on a united front. He has to participate in her fuck girl shenanigans. He has to participate. He has to smile in front of the camera. He can't act like he don't want to be there. He can't. Right now, Ariane is his lifeline. He cannot go at her all kind of way. He cannot afford it. He's not playing the game because he loves her. He wants to be with her. He had plenty of opportunities to marry this girl. He can marry her now. He won't do it because Angry Byrd was not the final destination. But right now he has to play her game. He's playing it because he don't have a choice. He really don't have a choice. And what Angry Byrd is doing, she's gravitating and making a mockery out of this. She's really pumping up the volume because she really still has a score to settle with Mel, with the bloggers, with everybody, whoever doubted her, people who really don't care. And what you don't realize is bloggers, we're not talking about her because we so much think she's popular and she's the main topic. A lot of bloggers are going in because we're realizing how, well, we always knew it, but she's confirming how much of a habitual liar she is and how stigmatized she is. All of this performance, all of this lying she been doing to these bloggers. I'm done with Martell. I'm finished with him. Angry Byrd has gone against everything she ever said she was not going to do. She has broken her own promises to herself. And when it's all said and done, when Martell is done with her, when he gets on his feet, when he gets where he needs to be, she thinks she hates Martell. She thinks she hates him. Her anger towards him is going to skyrocket when he really throws her under the bus this time. God don't bless no mess. If Angry Byrd and Martell think for a second they done got by, if they really think that they have paid their debts to karma, karma is far from dealing with them. They owe karma so much debt. And one thing about karma is a debt that you can't pay off. You could pay off a car loan. You could pay off a mortgage. You could pay off a business loan. You cannot pay off karma. Karma is a lifetime debt. It's going to become more and more interesting for the both of them. I totally believe both of them are currently in misery right now as we speak. The chemistry between them looks so fake and forced. And anytime a woman has to keep advertising her love for her man, got to keep recording every time they go out to eat, recording every little bit they do, that lets me know how insecure you really are. Because if you know you have that man, if you know he belongs to you, you don't have to keep forcing the narrative and pushing the narrative to everybody to convince them of such. If you really know you and this man got each other, you don't have to keep doing the most. And that is why people keep poking at her and making fun of her and coming under the comment section when she goes live, because everybody can read right through you, boo. We know that y'all are in the struggle. That is straight struggle love. It ain't even love. It's just straight struggle. It's a struggle. And when it all boils down to it, we are going to see this implode. It's slowly but surely crumbling right before our eyes. And they both got to put up this front because they have really showed their behinds throughout this ordeal. So they have to keep putting up this facade. And once you put up a certain facade, you have to keep that facade going. Once you start off being fake and phony, you have to keep producing that. So they don't put themselves in a situation in which they can never really let nobody see them down. They cannot afford to let anybody see them fail, especially at dealing with each other. They got to keep that united front going. But guess what? No matter how much you try to put up this front of your fantasy, reality is going to have its way. Fantasy is never going to outweigh reality. Their reality is going to come in full circle. And when it does, all of us are going to know it. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about today's content. Don't forget, Christmas is coming up, y'all. So if y'all want to order your tumblers or order your cable, please make sure you do that. Please, before you leave, before you exit, hit that like button. I would gladly appreciate it if you take a second right now and just click that like. I know sometimes we get so into the content that we forget to hit that like button. So make sure you hit the like button. If you did not subscribe and you like today's content, make sure you join the family. Join Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Remember, I do have membership, only $2.99 a month. Not only that, all my Mocha members, they do get discounts off my cable package and off my tumblers. So hit me up. Join membership. If you would be interested in putting towards tithing towards my congregation. Those who cannot join membership, just continue to be subscribed to the content and definitely hit that like button. Other than that, y'all, I got to get ready to shut it down. Y'all have a good one. It is your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Take care. Be blessed.